Hello again, NBA fans. Welcome into our NBA Roundtable. My name is Matt Eppers. I am a digital producer at USA Today Sports, and we're here to discuss three big topics around the NBA. To help me break things down, I am joined by Jeff Zillgitt of USA Today Sports and our friend Omari Sankofa of the Detroit Free Press. And gents, we want to start with one of the top young players in the league, and that is Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. The number one overall draft pick, missed the first handful of games with a sprained ankle, but he's starting to come along pretty well, averaging around 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists a game. The shooting has been off to a bit of a shaky start, but I want to clear out for you, Omari, because you've seen Cunningham as much as anyone. What are you seeing from him in the first few weeks of his rookie season?
I think Cade so far has gotten better every single week. And, I think particularly in the last 2 weeks, he's really shown why the Pistons took him first overall. As you said, the shooting's been a little shaky, and his turnovers have also been a little bit high. But I think the biggest things that have stood out so far is just how well he sees the floor and also just his overall command of the game. He's one of the best players so far in the clutch. We've seen him hit, a lot of clutch buckets, either clutch threes or just his ability to get to the rim. Get that shoulder down and create space. I mean, he's gotten buckets over, Kevin Durant, OG Anunoby, some of the best defenders in the NBA. Overall, I think the leadership's been there. The command of the game has been there. And he really has gotten better every single week. So he's starting to look like a number one pick.
Jeff, what are you seeing from Cunningham from afar? It's perhaps a little foolish to focus too much on the raw numbers, this early in a player's career. So what aspects of Cunningham's game are you watching for to gauge his progress?
Well, just the other night when he has the triple-double, that stands out to me, is that he's able to get a triple-double this early into his NBA career. That means he can do a lot of things pretty good at where he is right now. So he's going to be able to score in the league. I haven't seen every three-point shot attempt. I know that we looked at his shooting numbers a little bit, but I love the stroke. He shoots the ball, just form. It looks really nice. At his position, if he's going to get in there and give you, he's not going to do it every night, but the capability of getting you double-digit rebounds and then doing a double-digit assist, that just shows me he's capable of managing the game in a lot of different ways. And that's what I really like about what I've seen from Cade Cunningham so far.
We want to shift our focus a little bit to the coaching ranks. We've seen one coach lose his job already with the recent firing of Luke Walton in Sacramento. So I was curious if there are any other coaches that could perhaps be in danger. Omari, in Detroit, Dwayne Casey is the past few seasons he struggled a little bit, but they are in the midst of a rebuilding project. Is his coaching seat warm at all?
I don't get that sense right now. The Pistons actually extended Dwayne's contract in the spring, so I believe that vote of confidence is still there. The thing about the Pistons is that, they're really in year 2 of a full rebuild. Troy Weaver came in last June and completely remade the roster. Not a single player who was on that 2019-20 team is still on the roster now. So overall, I think the Pistons are about where a lot of people would have guessed they would be right now. They trust Dwayne Casey. They're looking at the long game. And, I don't think the record is too out of whack with where people probably expected they would be right now. So I don't get the sense that they're itching to move on from Dwayne Casey at all. I think they still trust him. They still see him as the right coach for this rebuild.
Jeff, when you examine the coaching landscape as a whole, I think you've posited that we're in a position of relative coaching stability. You don't see many other changes this season.
No, I don't want everyone to rush to their favorite sports betting app and lay down any money on this, but Luke Walton might be the only coach who's fired in season this year. If you look at the start of the 2020-21 season and then the start of the 2021-22 season, there was a ton of coaching turnover, almost 20 new coaches. And if you extend that to the season before when Dwayne Casey's getting hired, you're almost at or above 20 coaches who are new to their team in the past 3 seasons. And then you throw in coaches who are not getting fired no matter what happens this year. I'm talking about guys like Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, Eric Spoelstra, Mike Budenholzer. The Lakers, you could probably even throw in Frank Vogel. He came off a championship. He also got an extension after that championship. And so you start to add up all these numbers and names, and it seems unlikely that there's going to be another coach fired, considering how many coaches are new and how many sort of just have that long-term stability with the franchise that they're with.
And lastly, we want to shift to some returns from injury that we are anticipating in the near future. We have 3 players that we're sort of looking forward to their returns. Jeff, yours is tied into a recent story you wrote at usatoday.com.
Yeah, so I wrote about the Washington Wizards and the way they pulled off a 5-team trade that sent Russell Westbrook to the Lakers. At the time, all that focus on the Lakers end of the deal. But really, if we're looking at it today, and I know the Lakers are struggling and Russell has struggled, but the Wizards have been one of the surprise teams in the East. They got better by acquiring 5 players for essentially Russell Westbrook. That made them deeper, and they're going to get deeper when they get Rui Hachimura back. He's practicing with the G League team right now. Head coach Wes Unseld Jr. mentioned that, he's nearing a return. He's not putting a timetable on it. But that's going to make this Wizards team even deeper. There was a game I was at recently. They're missing Rui Hachimura, Daniel Gafford, Spencer Dinwiddie, who isn't playing back-to-backs right now. So it's almost 3 starters, and they still beat the Atlanta Hawks. And so they get Rui back. That's going to make them deeper. It's going to give Wes Unseld more options. It's going to make life difficult on Wes, because you're almost looking at a team that's, 12, 13 players deep. Do you put Rui in the starting lineup? Do you bring him off the bench with Montrezl Harrell, who's, playing a very strong role off the bench? So there's some decisions to be made, but that's going to make the Wizards even better and deeper when he gets back into the lineup.
Omari, who do you have your eye on to return soon?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is Zion Williamson. He still hasn't made his NBA debut yet as he recovers from a foot fracture. I think the messaging on the status of that foot fracture has been a bit murky. The team, I believe Zion both said, before the season started that they expected Zion to play the opener. And, as of now, I don't think he's been cleared for 5-on-5 action, even though he's still, inching closer. The Pelicans without Zion, and they've also lost Brandon Ingram for a few games as well. I've been one of the bottom teams in the entire NBA. And this has been a recurring thing with Zion. Of course, you've seen what he can do when he's healthy, but in 2 seasons, he's only played 85 games. So he's just played just over a full season of basketball. There's been concerns about, if his body could just maintain not only the way he plays, but, the weight he plays with. And this could be an ongoing thing and certainly something to watch.
I think one big return that everyone's looking forward to is actually one of maybe the biggest luxuries in the NBA, and that's Klay Thompson coming back to the Golden State Warriors. It's not all the time the best team in the NBA welcomes back one of the best shooters ever. Jordan Poole has really stepped up and filled the void there pretty well for them. But bringing Klay Thompson back just adds a completely new dynamic to that team. That is a return that I think everybody is just looking forward to from the standpoint of just having a really great guy back on the court for a really great team. I think that, my friends, is going to wrap up another edition of the NBA Roundtable. Many thanks to Jeff Zillgitt and Omari Sankofa for joining us today. My name is Matt Eppers. We hope you enjoyed the show and that you'll join us again next time. Until then, thank you as always for watching on USA Today Sports.